Hi, my name is miaddanae. Welcome if you're new here. If you're not, it is so nice to see you again. Okay guys, finally we are here and we're going to talk about Season 3, Episode 8 of Yellowjackets titled A Normal Boring Life. Spoiler warning, as always, I am going to be spoiling the whole episode, so if you haven't seen it yet, add this to your watch later, come back later, or if you don't care about being spoiled, then let's just keep going, or if you've already seen it, whatever. You get the point, right? The reason why this video is late, I swear I have a good excuse. Saturday was my 21st birthday, and the episode obviously came out on Friday, and I had full intentions on filming on Friday, but I ended up having friends over on Friday, and, because, it was, going into my birthday at midnight. After midnight, I drank. And then the next day was, my actual birthday. I had a party. Again, I drank because it was my 21st birthday. I'm not, obviously, I'm not a drinker because I just turned 21. But hypothetically speaking, before I was 21, I was not a drinker, really. For a long time, hypothetically. So it was the first time, hypothetically, that I was drunk in quite a few years. So, I was then like, okay, definitely we'll film first thing Sunday. I woke up with a hangover, and I've never had a hangover before. Because, again, hypothetically, when you drink as a teenager, you just don't get hangovers. That doesn't happen. But when you're 21, apparently it does. At least for me. I was down and out yesterday. I was not, I would have, if I had filmed yesterday, you guys genuinely would have been would have not watched the video because I was miserable. I was genuinely miserable. Not miserable, but I did not feel well at all. So, yeah, that is why we're here today. But also thank you to everyone who said a happy birthday to me. I really, really appreciate it. I did have a great birthday, and I'm so, so grateful for that. I wish that I had gotten the video up on time. I feel so, guilty about this, that this is late. Because I genuinely enjoy making these videos so much. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, it was my birthday, and, I wanted to have a good time. So, can you blame a girl for wanting to have a good time on her 21st birthday? I don't think you can, right? You can't. Also, okay, I do remember last video, I was very much bragging that Melissa was dead, okay? And I promised that if I was wrong, I would come on here and admit it. I will admit it, I was wrong, but also, it's my birthday week, so I feel like you can't be that mad at me. I have a notes app apology that I'm gonna put right here. I used AI to write it, and I hate AI. But that's all I felt it deserved, was AI, because honestly, I'm not that sorry that I was wrong. Sometimes a girl fucks up. I mean, they said she was dead, so why would I not think she was dead? And they also, they implied that she died before they were rescued. They literally did. So I didn't understand that at all, genuinely. But whatever, she's not dead. I was wrong. You guys were right. Hilary Swank is Melissa. Even though we haven't started talking about the episode yet. But, yeah, obviously, I was wrong. You guys were right. I humbly admit that. But also, like I said, it's my birthday week. You can't hold this against me. You have to just let it go. That's the rules of birthday week. So, first of all, the episode starts out with a dream sequence that Shauna has where she's young and working in a grocery store. And when it first started, I thought we were finally getting a post-crash scene. And I was so excited. Turns out, no. It was just a dream about Jackie. Of course she's dreaming about Jackie. Girlie can not get over her first love. But, she's dreaming that she's, working at a grocery store and she's, checking out, meat or something, and then it starts turning into, hands and body parts and stuff. So, basically, as, Shauna, though, is, checking out the meat, though, Jackie shows up and she's like, "What are you doing here?" And she's like, "What are you doing here, shipment?" or something like that. And, It does kind of make me wonder if maybe after, like, post-crash, if Shauna did, like, work at a, like, grocery store or something. Maybe. Like, maybe that there's some truth in that. Because it's, like, a very odd thing to just dream about, like, and that Jackie showed up there, you know? So, I'm feeling like maybe she did actually, I mean, this is probably so irrelevant, but, like, I just wonder so much about their post-crash, like, lives, like, between, from, like, when they got back to, like, them being in their, like, 40s, like, we don't really know anything about, like, most of them. So, I do wonder what she was up to before, like, I mean, I don't know how fast she married Jeff after she came back, like, what, you know, I don't know. Maybe at some point she worked at a supermarket. Another reason why I think it might actually, like, she might have actually worked at a grocery store is because as always, when she, like, hallucinates or dreams about Jackie is so mean to her, which I think is, like, her way of handling the guilt of what she did to Jackie. But she, like, is like, so much potential. You really didn't pan out, did you? And so it makes me feel like there's some realness in this whole working at the supermarket thing. And then she calls her Shipman again, and Shauna's like, stop calling me Shipman, I fucking hate it. And Jackie's like, why didn't you ever say anything? She doesn't really answer, and then she does say, is this really what my life is gonna look like? So I don't know if, but, like, this is, like, older Shauna dreaming this, so I'm like, she knows what her life looked like after the crash, so I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about her, this actually being something that, like, was real in her life, I don't know. When Shauna asks, like, is this really what my life is gonna look like, Jackie says, how am I supposed to know? I'm dead, you killed me, remember? And, like, with such an attitude, because, like I said, she always hallucinates or dreams about Jackie being, like, so mean to her. Which I do think is interesting, and also I think that the Shipman line is interesting, considering, like, the line a few episodes ago when Van and, Taissa were talking, and they were saying that Shauna probably makes Melissa call her Shipman, like Jackie did, to find out that she hated Shipman. It's like, I don't know, I just think that's kind of interesting. Then adult Shauna, like, wakes up with a gasp and grabs her knife. Oh, and by the way, she's still in her car sitting outside of Alex's house. Alex being Hannah's daughter, in case you forget. So she wakes up, grabs her knife, like, sticks it under her sleeve, and gets out of her car and walks up to Alex's house and breaks in. What the fuck, Shauna? Shauna walks around the house for a minute, and then she hears, like, laughter and people walking, like a child laughing. So she goes and hides in a closet. And then Alex comes down with a child that's presumably hers. It is. And they're just talking about lunch. And then that's when the walking hat comes into the room. Still wearing that fuck-ass hat. It's been 25 years, girl. Can we get rid of the hat? But yeah. Melissa. It's Melissa. Melissa is married to Alex. What kind of sick shit is that? Like, okay, Shauna is fucked up. Shauna is so fucked up. All of them are so fucked up. But what kind of sick fucking shit? And honestly, I don't even hate adult Melissa that much. But marrying Hannah's daughter, a woman you presumably ate, that's fucking weird. And also, I'm wondering what their age gap is, because that is something I was, like, kind of confused about. I know that Hannah was a teen mom, but Hannah could have only been in, like, her, like, maybe late 20s in the, like, teen timeline. So there's a hefty age gap there. And she implies at one point that she had been watching Alex for a long time. So was, like, Alex, like, 10 years old when she started, like, watching her? Or, like, 11, 12? I don't know about that. Also, Alex calls Melissa Kelly as she leaves. So we know that Melissa is not going by Melissa. But in the captions, like, it says it's Melissa, so, like, you know, if you have, like, your closed captions on, you know right away that it's Melissa. And then after Alex and the kid leave, Melissa somehow knows that there's someone hiding in the closet, and she grabs a knife and goes, like, whoever the fuck you are, come out right now. You have no idea whose house you just walked into. And this was one moment where I was like, I was kind of rooting for Shauna. I was like, oh, you have no idea who just walked into your house. Talking a big game, but you have no idea who's in there. And then Shauna, with no fear, opens up that closet door, like, and when she walks out, she goes, actually, I'm pretty sure I do, Melissa. Or is it Kelly now? And Melissa's like, Shauna, what are you doing here? See, that's why you don't talk a big game like that, because if you're scared now. I would be too. If Shauna was hiding in my closet, I'd be fucking scared. That would, you know what, that's something that kids should be afraid of. You know, they're scared of monsters hiding in their closet. No, they should be scared of Shauna Shipman in their closet. Honestly, we should instill that fear into some children. After she says, like, what are you doing here? Shauna says, what are you doing alive? So, obviously, Shauna, I don't think knew, like, going into Alex's house that Melissa was gonna be there. Like, she had no idea, which is kind of crazy. So, I was technically half right, okay? They did not know she was alive, okay? They thought she was dead. She was supposed to be dead. She just wasn't, actually. But she was supposed to be. So, I mean, was I that wrong? So then Shauna asks Melissa to put the knife down, and she's like, no, I'm not putting my knife down when you have a knife, like, which, understandable. And she's like, maybe we could both put our knives down, like sane adults. And Shauna, at this point, Shauna kind of clocks her shit. She's like, sane? Like, marrying the daughter of a woman we killed? And changing your name to Kelly? And Melissa's just like, a lot's happened in the last 25 years. Yeah, a lot of weird shit, obviously, has been going on for you. And then they just agree to both keep their knives. You know, I knew there was no way Shauna was going to put her knife down. Okay, I don't know if this could be copyrighted, but I just want to play the audio of this one part for you guys, because I don't think I could do it justice, like retelling it, and it's so funny, because the next scene is Misty in the hospital.
Hi, Shauna. I'm just calling to say fuck you, actually. And I swear to God, you will regret it if you do not turn that car around right now and come back here right this minute. Thank you.
You guys know how much I love adult Misty. That was great. That was so great. So then immediately after that, Ty's talking to a doctor, and they're basically like, there's really nothing more to do for Van besides hospice. And Ty is reasonably, crashing out about this. You can see it in her eyes. She is scrambling. And Misty's, trying to be there for her. She's like, what can I do? And she's like, you can help me find the palpative, I think that's what it's called, care unit. And Misty's like, I thought you didn't want Van to go there because that's hospice. And she's like, we don't. I don't know if she meant we as in, me and you, Misty, or if she meant we as in me and Ty and other Ty. I'm thinking she meant Ty and other Ty. But I think we all know why she's going to the palpative care unit. Then we go back to the teen timeline, and we see Misty is still on the ground. It's morning now, and she still doesn't have her glasses, and she crawls around and eventually finds her glasses. I was genuinely so happy for her that she found her glasses, because I can't even imagine, that would have to be one of the toughest situations. I think I talked about this the last video, but being in the wilderness without if you're someone who wears glasses, without your glasses, that would be a nightmare scenario. But they are cracked, but she has them. And I was wrong too in my other video when I said that when we see her for the first time in the pilot, that she doesn't have her glasses on. She does have her glasses on, they're just cracked. I was wrong about that. My memory is not so great at times when it comes to TV shows. I'm sorry about that. But she finds her glasses. I guess Akilah and Travis just left her there, which it's kind of fucked up of them, to be honest with you. But yeah, that seems to be the case. Then we cut to teen Travis and Akilah walking with Kodiak. They have the crossbow to his back, and he's supposedly taking them to the rescue point, the pickup point, whatever. And Akilah's like, this doesn't feel right. And he's like, what doesn't feel right about being rescued? And she's like, that we're not all here. And he's basically in Travis's mindset, I guess, is that it's more efficient for them to just go and then send rescue back for the others, which is a little odd in my opinion. But I kind of get where he's coming from, because what he's thinking is probably that all of them going with Kodiak would probably be a mess, which honestly he was right about. He thought that if just him and Akilah could go and then send rescue back, that would work, and it probably would have worked actually a lot better than what ended up happening. But Akilah's I don't know, and he like a little bit of season 1 Travis kind of popped out for a second, like a little bit of personality. His like, Akila, those visions like weren't real. Like basically like Lottie's crazy. He's like, I didn't pick you like as like a seer. You're not a prophet. I made it all up. And which goes back to I'm pretty sure that in that one scene when he was like doing like the mushrooms and Lottie admitted to him about like the psych hospitals and that she had a shrink and medication and all that I think he realized that Lottie was mentally ill and that what they were doing was not real. I think Travis wanted to believe in the wilderness so badly after Javi died, and that's how he got roped into all that stuff with Lottie, but in that moment he realized it wasn't real and he couldn't do it anymore, but he didn't know how to get out of it, and I think he just like picked the first person that came to mind, and it was like Akila's more connected than I am, like, you know. I don't think it was like malicious. He's obviously known for a while that it was all bullshit. But essentially Akila agrees to just go with Kodiak, but she starts leaving behind like little pieces of her sweater so that the girls can find them. Like she's leaving them on like tree branches and stuff. And then immediately after, Misty does find a piece of the sweater hanging from like a tree branch, and she like is like basically and starts like running back to camp. And then back at camp, all the girls are crowded around Hannah, like looking down at her and like asking her a bunch of questions all at once, like, which I get, they have a lot of questions. And then they like finally like get everyone to shut up, and Natalie's like who are you guys? And she's like, we were like a research team, like studying frogs. Maybe you've heard their meeting calls. And then Shauna's like, what are people saying about us back home? And Hannah's like, who are you guys? Like, Natalie tells her that they're a soccer team from, I don't know if I can say this right, Passaic, New Jersey, which is not a real place, as someone who lives in New Jersey. And then Hannah's like, oh, I did see that on the news. Like, Shauna's like, are people looking for us? Like, what? And she's like, I don't know. She's like, I know they searched for months. And she's like, so our friends, our families, they just gave up on us. They stopped looking. They forgot about us. And Hannah's basically like, I don't know. Like, how the fuck is she supposed to know, like, what their friends and families are doing? Like, Natalie's like, okay, you got here. Can you get us out? And she's like, no, I don't even know where I am right now. Like, we had a guide. That other guy was our guide. Like, he could get us out. Just not me by myself. I can't get us out. And then Hannah asks Shauna if she's the captain of, like, the team. And Shauna's like, if I say yes, will you start answering our fucking questions? And Natalie's like, no, she's not the captain. And Shauna's like, neither are you. And Natalie's like, yeah, because she's fucking dead. And obviously they're talking about Jackie. Sore subject for Shauna, of course. Then Misty, like, runs up and is like, I know where Akila, Travis, and the other guy are. And Hannah's like, his name's Cody. And they're like, alright, let's go. And Shauna leaves Ty there to watch Hannah and Lottie. Lottie stays behind too. She's like, watch her too. Because obviously Lottie's having some sort of break at the moment. She's kind of just sitting there silently. Okay, and then in the adult timeline, Jeff and Callie are in a restaurant, I guess, in the hotel, and they see the Joels, which are the people that Shauna messed up the dinner with, that, like, Jeff had, like, a big meeting with for his company, and, they wave Jeff over. And when he gets over there, they obviously, for some reason, think that Callie's, like, his girlfriend or something. And he's like, that's my daughter. And they're like, oh, you're serious? Like, you're here with your family? Like, oh, okay. Jeff then, like, tries to, like, pitch himself kind of to them again. And they're basically like, we're going in a different direction. And he's like, what? Like, he gets a call from Misty, who's like, have you seen Shauna? And he's like, no, I thought she was with you. Valid reaction, Jeff, because he thought she was with Misty. And then Misty's like, yeah, but she ditched us at the hospital. And Jeff's like, why are you guys at the hospital? And Misty doesn't explain. She's like, where was Shauna the day Lottie died? And Jeff's like, weren't we with you, Misty? And she was like, you were there the whole day. And he's like, and he's like, then basically he's just kind of like, what has Shauna done now? And she's just like, I gotta go. And he's like, Misty, don't hang up on me. Which I think is funny. I think this isn't the first time Misty and Jeff have ever interacted. But I like Misty and Jeff interacting. It is quite funny. To adult Shauna, who's still with adult Melissa. Melissa's like, you could have just like rang the doorbell like a sane person, but sanity is off the table with you, basically. And Shauna's like, well, I didn't really know that you lived here or that you were alive. How are you alive? We all went to your funeral. And Melissa reveals that she left a fake suicide note and that apparently the police just presumed her dead even without a body. I don't know if they really do that, but I guess they could do that, because depending on how she said she killed herself, like, because like, what if she jumped off a bridge or something, like, the chances of actually finding her body would be slim in like that case. So I guess, okay, that does sort of make sense, because for a second I was like, how does that make any sense? But yeah, it could make sense. So then Shauna asks her why she did it, and she's like, are you still in love with me? Which, I don't know why she would fake her suicide because she was in love with Shauna, but I don't know. She's like, Shauna, I don't think I ever was in love with you. And like, damn. Thank you for humbling that bitch. Thank you. Shauna's face, ego depleted. Depleted. That's the right word. And then she's like, okay, like, why'd you do it though? And she's like, because when we got back, I was no longer one of you, and you scared the shit out of me, Shauna. So Shauna scared her so badly that she faked her suicide. Which is interesting. Because I'm like, how much worse does Shauna get out there? Shauna is like, the reason I'm here is because, like, why the fuck did you send me this tape? And how did you even get it? And Melissa's basically, well, Hannah told me where to find it, and she begged me to give it to Alex, her daughter. And she obviously did not do that. She just kind of stalked her for years, saying, like, she spun it as, like, just trying to make sure that she was okay. But what she was doing is called stalking. So yeah. And that she's like, and then one day we met, and I swear I tried not to let it happen. But you don't know her, she's great, she's amazing, and like all this stuff. And she's like, I love her, and this isn't a sympathy marriage or some sort of fucked up version of survivor's guilt, or maybe it is, but I don't know, I'm happy, I have a great kid, a great wife, I go to church, I have a good job, I'm happy, I know none of that matters to you, Shauna. And Shauna's like, you're right, it doesn't matter to me. I honestly, this like a whole episode, them two, like, just the way they just keep like coming for each other's like throat is so funny to me. Like, back and forth, because honestly I don't really like either of them. I mean, adult Melissa isn't as bad as I thought she would be, but I don't really like either of them. And so like, it's just funny, like, them just going back and forth with the insults. Like, back in the teen timeline, the girls find Akilah and Travis, and Akilah like flips on them, turns the gun on Kodiak, and is like, stop walking. All the girls crowd around them, and Shauna's like, you're coming back with us. And Travis, like, kind of isn't budging. Like, he's just, like, looking at Kodiak, like, and he has his, like, the crossbow down. And, like, multiple of them are saying, like, you're coming back, basically, whatever. And then Natalie looks at Travis and goes, let's go. And he immediately points that fucking crossbow at Kodiak and goes, you heard her. I love them. The way that all of those girls are telling him they gotta go back, and then Natalie says something, and immediately just, he's like, a soldier. Like, you heard her. He still loves her. Not that that's, like, the takeaway of, like, this scene, but, like, I mean, it sort of is. Like, he did not care what any of them had to say besides Natalie. He was kind of, like, standing there, like, with his hands in his pockets, and then Natalie's like, let's go, and he's like, oh shit, like, my girl just told me we gotta go, so like, we gotta go. Like, Back at the camp, they have Kodiak tied up, and basically they question Travis and Akila about, like, what they were doing, and they're like, you were just gonna, like, leave us, basically, and Travis is like, no, like, we just thought that, like, two of us going to get rescue would, like, be, like, faster. And Akila's like, yeah, like, whatever. And then Misty's like, well, then why'd you leave a trail for us to find? And Akila's like, in case he turned on us, and also so you could find the rescue point either way. So she kind of covered for Travis in a way. I don't know. She obviously wanted them to find them. Like, Natalie asks Kodiak if he can get them back and how long it'll take, and he's like, basically, like, it'll take 6 days to get to the rescue point. And he's like, if you can keep up. And they're like, of course they fucking can. They've survived in the wilderness for a year. Like, I think they can walk for 6 days. Like, they'll be fine. And so she tells everyone to start packing, and then Shauna's like, you're not in charge anymore, Natalie. And Natalie's like, this is about fucking rescue, Shauna. Like, no, like, at this point, like, okay, if they were really gonna be rescued, like, nobody's in charge anymore. Like, it's not like that anymore. It's about just getting rescued. Once again, basically, like, Natalie's still leading them. But then, in the middle of this conversation, Misty comes up to them and is like, what are we gonna do with them? And they're like, well, we need them to, like, get us out of here. And she's like, no, I mean, like, after. Like, what if they tell people what they saw? And Kodiak's like, I didn't see shit. And the way he says it is so cocky. Like, I don't believe him. I don't believe him for 1 second. I don't trust him for 1 second at all. And Hannah's like, we'll say whatever you want us to say. I swear to God. And Shauna's like, that doesn't mean shit out here. And Natalie's like, how about we just talk about it when we're back? Like, how about, like, we figure this out, like, later? Which I do get her point, like we need to get rescued, but, like, also, Misty does have a valid point. Like, they witnessed some crazy fucking shit. Like, then Lottie stands up and is like, we can't go back. And Natalie's like, why the fuck not? And Lottie's like, we don't belong there anymore. And basically Natalie, like, dismisses her, and she's like, alright guys, come on, we have a lot of shit to do. Like, we're not listening to Lottie's bullshit right now. But it seems like Shauna agrees with her, because Shauna just kind of, like, stays back and, like, is, like, looking at Lottie. And actually, we do know that Shauna kind of agrees with her, because early in the season, she wrote in her journal that they basically, like, how could they ever go home? So, and then back in the adult timeline, Shauna and Melissa are talking, and Melissa basically explains that the reason that she left the tape was because she, like it was, like, weighing on her. That she knew about Lottie's cult and the fact that, like, they all, like, basically joined it. You know, Shauna's like, I didn't really join it, but, you know, whatever. And that Natalie died, and she said after that, like, she started having nightmares, and then, like, daydream nightmares, like, and that it was so bad, and that she thought that getting rid of the tape would, like, help her, like, release it. That's, like, what her therapist told her. And she's like, I thought maybe it could help you do the same, and it said all that in the note. And John was like, what note? Because I guess Callie has the note and did not give it to Shauna. So, but then Shauna's just like, you're lying. You've been messing with me for weeks with the phone in the bathroom, playing the Queen of Hearts, locking me in the freezer, cutting my brakes, and Melissa's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Which, honestly, I think that all of those things kind of may just be coincidences. I mean, it'd be kind of a surprise if I turned around and it was like, ha, no, Melissa really was trying to kill her. But, like, I don't know. Because Shauna's mind, she cannot wrap her head around the fact of how this tape could be anything but a threat, you know? Melissa's basically like, it's not, it wasn't. Like, I don't know what else to tell you, but, it was not a threat. Shauna's like, it's genius, actually. She's like, you know, we can make all the pacts we want, vows of silence, but truly the only way to be safe is to be the only one left. which is a really scary thing for her to say, because I don't know what she means by that. Like, if she means that she thinks Melissa thinks that, or if she's starting to believe that herself. So yeah, Shauna is so unhinged. Basically, Melissa's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And then also in the adult timeline, we see Misty and Ty at the hospital, and they're outside of a man's room, and basically a man in hospice, and Ty asks Misty how much time this man has left, and she's like, well, he's dying. And so then Ty's like, okay, well, he's dying anyway, and walks in the room. And Misty's like, what do you mean anyway? And then she picks up a pillow, and she's like holding it over the man's face, like about to like smother him, and she like can't do it. And then he just dies, like suddenly. And she's like, does that count? And Misty's like very confused. She does not know what's going on. Ty's like saying like her reason for going in was like that she can't lose Van, and like I don't know if Misty's like catching on to like what Ty's mindset is here or not. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. And then they like are like, we gotta get out of here because like the guy died while they were in the room, and that's like very suspicious, you know. It's extremely suspicious for them. And then in the teen timeline, the girls basically, well, Mari, Misty, and Van hallucinate like what it's gonna be like when they get back. Like Mari hallucinates drinking a Slurpee, Misty hallucinates having toilet paper. Which I guess is like the small things you take for granted in life. And then Van hallucinates like a big comfy bed that she's like rolling around in, and but then obviously, yeah, like all the things they're hallucinating are actually like Misty actually was holding a leaf to wipe with, and Mari actually just had like a bottle of water, like not like bottled water, like a water bottle, you know. And Van is just like laying on a bunch of like blankets or something on the ground, and Ty kind of like snaps her out of it, and they start to have like a serious conversation. So basically Ty's like, what if we can't be together when we get home? And Van's like, why not? And she's basically like, I mean, okay, she's kind of right. She's like a lot's changed out here, but like not that much time has gone by. Like things might not be this they might be exactly the same actually back home, which like meaning like in the 90s, like people weren't that like, I mean, people were getting like a little more cool with gay people, but like they weren't that cool with it. Like it wasn't very normal for people to be out, you know. For them in the wilderness it's been like normalized, but like back in the real world not so much. So I think it's honestly a valid concern on Thais' part. But Van is just, like, kind of, like, dismissing it. And then Ty goes on to, like, say, and what about, like, all the lies we're going to have to tell? We're going to have to be on the same page about everything. We're going to have to kill the scientists, and, like, because, like, there's no way we can trust them, and, like, all this shit. And she's like, this place is going to follow us for the rest of our fucking lives. And she's right about that. She is right, because it does. It does. There's a lot of foreshadowing in this episode, like, from their teenage selves to their adult selves. But, she's absolutely right about that. And Van's just like, rescue outweighs all of that. Like, go pack a bag, basically. And that's the end of that conversation. But also, we do see that it's other Ty having this conversation. And then, like, back in their tent, teen Shauna and Melissa are having a conversation, and Melissa is mad at Shauna, validly, in my opinion, because, she's like, I was bleeding out, and, like, you didn't give a fuck, basically. You just left, like, and Shauna just pulls out, like, every manipulation card in the book. She's like, she literally says, believe what you want. Like, okay, male manipulator. The fuck? It's like, I wanted to be the one who caught the guy who shot you. That's why I left. Like, I knew Jen would stop the bleeding. Like, and I'm still not ruling out killing him because he shot you. And then, like, that gets Melissa to, like, believe her. Clearly, the whole time, Shauna is bullshitting her, like, 100 fucking %. Shauna does not give a fuck about her, and it's obvious. But then Melissa's like asking her what she's most excited about for when they get back, and Shauna's kind of like, what? Like, she's like the thing you want to do. She's like, I'm excited for everything. Like, I'm college and graduating and working a normal job and blah, blah. And Shauna kind of starts to, like, dissociate and, like, she starts to hallucinate these Yellowjackets. And then, like, kind of just snaps out of it and then doesn't tell Melissa what she's excited about, because I don't think she's excited to go home at all. Which, I think, well, I know she's not. Okay, so then we're back to a scene with adult Shauna and adult Melissa. And basically, Melissa's telling her, like, she didn't do any of the things that Shauna is accusing her of. And also, I did forget to mention this, actually, but in an earlier scene, Shauna does accuse her of killing Lottie as well. And basically, Melissa's like, what, Lottie's dead? And so she says in this scene that she did not kill Lottie, which I don't think she did. I mean, I could be wrong, but I really don't think Melissa killed Lottie. I don't really see why she would have killed Lottie, to be honest with you, but I don't know. Maybe there's a reason that we don't know yet. And basically, Melissa goes on about how she has a normal life, and once again, Shauna clocks her shit. She's like, this is not normal, Melissa, which she is 100% right about. Like, I don't even know. Like, I genuinely, like, how would you even react to finding out that your partner has not only been lying about their name, but that they were stalking you because they killed your mother, and now you're married to them and have a baby with them? Like, that is insanity, and the fact that Melissa thinks it's normal is fucking insane. They're both accusing each other of being insane, and it's like, you both are fucking insane. You both are fucking insane. Sanity is nowhere in this room, okay? Basically, you know, Shauna's just going on about how the only reason that she's basically, like, living a normal life is because it's all a lie, you know? And, like, that's the only reason she can pretend it's normal, which she is right about. And then Callie calls her, and Melissa sees it, and she's like, is that your daughter? And Shauna's like, yeah. And she's like, does she know what you've done, what you're capable of? And Shauna's like, yeah, actually, she does. And Melissa's like, and she still loves you? And Shauna kind of pauses, and she's like, yeah. And then Melissa's like, now who's lying? Which... okay, like, why do I feel like I want to defend Shauna right now? Oh my god. Maybe because, like, I don't know, what Melissa is doing is so crazy. Like, the nerve to be like, your daughter doesn't love you. Which I don't know if Callie does. I don't know. I think you're biologically wired to, like, love your mother regardless. Like, I think she does love Shauna. I don't think she likes her, but I think she loves her. And then there's, like, a part of me that's like, yes, like, get Shauna, but then there's another part of me that's like, whoa. You have no room to be talking, hat lady. Okay, so basically, now we're seeing Jeff and Callie back in the hotel room again, and Jeff is kind of like, he's, like, calling Missy over and over again. Callie's calling Shauna, like, they can't get a hold of either, and Jeff is, like, starting to crash out over it. But there is one thing interesting during this scene, and it's actually throughout the whole episode, but you can see the best during the scene is that Jeff has 3 scratches going down one of his hands. Which I'm not saying, like, I'm not accusing my baby girl Jeff of anything, but that doesn't look great for him, considering Lottie. Then basically, like, Callie tells him to, like, pull it together, and they both kind of, like, come to the conclusion that they both don't think that someone is out to get Shauna, and Jeff's like, you know what, we're gonna go home. Go get your stuff, we're gonna go home. Like, fuck this, like, we're not hiding out at this hotel anymore while your mom's off doing whatever the fuck, wherever the fuck. We're gonna go home. Which, like, good parenting, I guess. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I feel like there's a good chance, like, Jeff and Shauna might break up soon. I just don't know how he can stay with her much longer, especially with, like, how, like, things are affecting Callie, you know? And then we're back to the teen timeline, and they're all basically just really happy about going home and talking about what they're gonna do, and Akila is like, by the water, like getting a bucket of water, and she's so like happy and smiley, but then she goes back to like her like animal pen and hallucinates that all the animals are dead. And Lottie comes walking in because she's like scream crying, and Lottie's like, what's wrong? And she's like, all of a sudden she sees the animals are alive, and Lottie's like, did you see something? Lottie scares me a little bit. She scares me a little bit. Like when she's like, did you see something? Like she's so excited for like visions, and like I honestly just think that Akila like has had so much like fucking cave gas fumes, mercury poisoning, whatever, like that she's just hallucinating things now. And then Natalie goes back to the plane, and one cool thing we see is on the plane that at some point they went back and wrote when they originally wrote SOS Gone to Lake, they crossed it out and they crossed out Lake and put Gone Deeper. But she goes back to the plane and she puts Coach Ben's bones on the plane and basically like has kind of like this sweet moment where she like apologizes to him and like says like she wishes he could have like made it home with them, and all like kind of like I guess like her closure moment. And then she hears like kind of like the wind rustling or something, and I don't know if I don't really think Natalie believes in the wilderness, but she kind of like looks out and is like, we're getting the fuck out of here, whatever you are, like we're escaping, like you know. And so I don't know, I always kind of thought that Natalie didn't believe in the wilderness, but maybe a part of her does. I don't know. And then in the adult timeline, there's kind of like this weird scene that I kind of like don't even know how to really explain, where Ty walks into Van's hospital room and normal Ty is like banging on the door saying like, please, I need to see her, and then other Ty is like talking to her through the door and basically being like, I'm the only one that can help her, you won't do what needs to be done. And real Ty is like begging and like pleading, and yeah, it's a little odd. Don't really know what was actually going on there or what's gonna happen. I don't really know what exactly other Ty's gonna do because she didn't go through with killing that guy, so I don't really know. I don't know, and I don't know what she's gonna do in Van's room. Okay, so then back in the teen timeline, all the girls are like ready to go, and they have Hannah and Cody like standing there, and Natalie goes up to them and she's basically like, we're trusting you guys to get us like to the rescue point, like, and I think you know that we will kill you if you try some stupid shit. And they're like, we're not gonna try any stupid shit, like we want to go home too. And she's like, okay, good, like let's go. And then Lottie's like, I'm staying, and they're all like, what the fuck? So then basically like Natalie goes up to her and tries to like give her a pep talk, and because everyone's like calling her crazy, and she's like, Lottie, like this is like rescue, like this is going home, like this is real. And Natalie's like, I know like we all basically gave up on the idea of this and whatever, blah blah, but like we have a chance here basically. And Lottie's like, what home? Like what home do you have to go back to, Nat? Which is like so fucking rude. And like, cause Nat just looks like devastated when she says that, because we know what Natalie's home life was like. And basically Lottie goes on this whole tangent, which again, this is so like foreshadowing. Like she basically says if she goes back, like things won't be right. Like I don't know, like it's kind of foreshadowing the fact that when she does go home, like she's just like in and out of mental hospitals for most of her life. But I think that one comment that she made really pissed Natalie off, and so she kind of just gives up on her and goes, all right then, stay, the rest of us, let's go. But that's not the end of it. Of course not. Because of course, and Shauna's fuck ass has to be like, I'm staying too. I want to play this clip.
I'm staying too. Oh, for fuck's sake, Shauna, come on.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Shauna, come on. But then basically, like, Shauna's like, I'm not staying because of you, Lottie. Like, I just, like, don't want to go back. Like, she's basically like, it's not about the wilderness or you. I don't feel like it's right. I don't feel like it's right. Like, she's going with the, like, something doesn't feel right route. And then Ty drops her bag, and Van's like, no, Ty, no. And she drops her bag, too, because, which is actually, like, kind of sweet. Because, you know, like, Van wants to go back more than anyone, but I think if Ty's not gonna go, then she's not gonna go. But she's, like, basically, like, pleading with Ty, like, please don't do this. Like, come on. Ty goes on to say that it's like the same thing Shauna said, something doesn't feel right. And I don't know, maybe they're onto something. I don't trust Kodiak. I think they're stupid. Like, I think this is so stupid to like passive rescue, but at the same time, I don't trust him. and I don't trust that he's actually going to bring them home. So like I kind of get where they're coming from. And then basically like Nat gets fed up with them and she's like, okay, you know what, you guys have all lost your fucking minds, like we're going, you guys stay then. And then Shauna goes, no, you're not. And this scene like kind of, this is the end of the teen timeline for this episode. This scene kind of pissed me off because I'm like, Shauna, what the fuck are you gonna do? Like, it's 3 of you against the rest of them. Realistically, like, how are you stopping them from leaving? Natalie has a gun, Travis has a crossbow, and then also 2, like, it's like 3 against 13, I think, is the count currently. What are you gonna do? Okay, and then back in the adult timeline, Jeff is, like, checking out of the hotel, and once again, like, we very clearly see these 3 scratches, like, on his hand, like, right here. Like, they're showing them for a reason, right? And then basically Jeff runs into the Joels again, which is, like, the business guys that, like, Shauna fucked up. And he's basically like, my wife's fucking crazy. And she's the one you didn't like. And he's like, and most people don't like her. And he's like, and I'm the reason most people like things. And he's like, so, he's like, basically, like, don't let Shauna fuck this up. Like, you should be working with me. And he said, like, come on, you've never fallen in love with a crazy woman. Every woman you've ever fallen in love with was fucking boring, basically, and walks out. And the guys are kind of like, damn. So I think he might have won over the Joels. I don't know. Okay, and then we're on, like, the last scene of the adult timeline, and it's adult Shauna and adult Melissa again. And basically, Melissa's giving her logical reasons for all these things that she thinks, like, Melissa did to try to kill her. Shauna's just kind of like, no, that's not right. But it does make sense. It honestly does. Like, most of it, like, is like, yeah, like, that is probably what happened. The phone with the song, like, it's just a popular song. Like, walk-in freezers, lock from, like, I think, like, the outside, and they literally did say at the car dealership that, like, nobody messed with her brakes. Like, so, I mean, I think Melissa might be right here. And then she basically, like, kind of reads Shauna to filth and is like, basically, like, you create chaos. Like, even before the crash, like, you were fucking your best friend's boyfriend. And, like, she's like, you just cannot stand to be, like, alone with yourself. And so you just, like, basically, like, start drama. She's not wrong. But Shauna is, like, cracking. Like, you don't want to fuck with Shauna like this. You really don't. You really don't. And she keeps egging Shauna on and egging her on and, like, being like, I think you came here because you want your life to explode. You like it. You just want to watch it burn all down. And then Shauna grabs her and they start tussling. So first Shauna gets on top of her and starts punching her in the face. And then Melissa, like, headbutts her and, like, Shauna's nose starts gushing blood, and then after, like, her nose starts gushing blood, she looks even crazier, like, she's, like, something just snapped even more in her, and then Shauna takes a bite out of Melissa's fucking arm, and is, like, grabs the piece of skin out of her mouth, and goes, eat it, and Melissa's like, what the fuck, you really are insane, and Shauna's like, eat it, or I'll tell your family exactly who you really are. And that is where the episode ends. Wow. Just, like, some final thoughts and feelings and theories from this episode. Okay, are we 100% sure there was only 8 survivors? Because I've just genuinely only ever heard that through the internet. Going off of the whole 8 survivors thing, just knowing who they all are now, and we're only on the 3rd season, and there's supposed to be 2 more seasons, so knowing that everyone else is gonna die is just kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of disappointing. I hope maybe there's gonna be, like, a surprise person alive, like, that survived some other way, maybe, because it's just, like, kind of boring to know everyone that survived at this point, and to know that, like Mari's gonna die, and Akila's gonna die, and, you know, like, even the side characters that don't really speak, like, Jen, and, like, well, we know Jen's dead, that's confirmed 100%, but, like, yeah, I don't know, That is one thing that I honestly really didn't like about the Melissa reveal. I also just felt like Melissa being the 8th survivor was like kind of just like very like lackluster in a way. I mean, I didn't hate adult Melissa as much as I hated teen Melissa, but also at the same time she's fucking insane. They're all fucking insane, which I mean is like makes sense. I mean they were fucking cannibals as teenagers, so like obviously they're insane. But honestly, she's on a different level of insanity than maybe any of the others. I don't know. With her wife and kid that she stalked and murdered her mother. Yeah, I'm not gonna let that go. I can't. That's fucking crazy. That's some crazy shit. Now, I don't know why. Okay, this is a genuine question. Why did so many people want Melissa to be alive so bad? Because to me, like, Melissa as a character was like literally it's always just been kind of like bland. Like there's nothing exciting or fun about her. She didn't even speak really until this season. Maybe, I don't know if she did before, I don't remember. All she does is just like follow Shauna around and like enable her in like the teen timeline. So I didn't know why so many people were like going so hard for Melissa being alive. Like, I don't really understand. If you were one of those people, please explain it to me, because I would love to know. Still waiting on Trav Nat to just kiss and make up already, as per usual. I'm starting to give up on it, but who knows? We got 2 episodes left. I don't even know. I don't even know what I think is going to happen, honestly. I know that they're not going to get rescued with Kodiak and Hannah and whatever, obviously. That doesn't happen. I don't know what is gonna go down. Maybe that this is the point when like quite a few girls end up dying. I don't know, because their numbers are still pretty high. Like, considering if there really is only 8 survivors, like they still have double that right now. Their rescue timeline is about like 6 months from where we're at right now. So like 8 girls have to die in that time. So maybe something happens where like there's a standoff and like things get like messy. I don't know. Also, very much feel like I don't feel like Shauna's really in charge, like at all. Like I feel like Natalie is still in charge, and they're this power struggle they've been having all season is still going on. Honestly, for the most part, besides like the fear factor, Natalie is winning because everyone's afraid of Shauna, but like she's not a good leader. Natalie's like actually getting shit done. People are like listening to Natalie. Shauna's just scaring everyone into doing shit. Like, as for the cuts on Jeff's hands, I think that they definitely showed them multiple times for a reason. I don't know why he would have killed Lottie. Like, I genuinely cannot think of a motive. Apparently we'll find out in episode 10 what happened to Lottie. And I do think it's kind of interesting too that like everything that like Shauna has been thinking is like someone out to get her kind of like isn't. And I mean, I guess it'd be pretty shocking at this point if it was revealed that someone really was out to get her, because I'm really not believing it. I haven't been believing it for like maybe like an episode or 2 now. Yeah, I think that's all my thoughts, feelings, opinions. I don't really have that many theories like going at the moment. I'm just kind of, I think also too though that Shauna is definitely gonna kill adult Shauna is gonna kill adult Melissa, most likely. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel it coming. She really fucked with her head, and I think that's something you never want to do to Shauna, because she's a crazy fucking bitch. That's someone you just like want to like get out of your house, like not egg her on. I don't know, I can't really think of like anything else. I think I kind of covered all my thoughts throughout like talking about the episode. Hopefully I didn't forget anything, but I'll be talking to you guys again real soon. Okay, I think we're gonna wrap things up here. Again, sorry for the late upload, but it's my birthday. You can't really hold it against me too much. I love you guys and I appreciate you watching, and if you enjoyed it, please like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys next time. Bye.